Hey guys, welcome to this month's how to draw video. You might be able to guess by the title what we're drawing, but I'm really excited. I've kind of been like itching to just draw some really cute badges, and I thought why not do it for you guys as well, and we can then draw them together. Just sat at my new dining room table. It feels so like fancy. I feel like I've got so much room, and on top of that I've treated myself to my own patron pack. Realised that all my like pencils and pens were either like running out or really low. I think my pen was running out for Mono Twin, and I was like, wait a second, why don't I just give myself one of these packs? If you haven't got a pack, I would recommend getting one. I mean, you're like completely entitled to use whatever materials you want, and actually it's really nice seeing you guys use different materials. But if you're new to illustrating, maybe this is the first video you've clicked on and you want to have a go, I've basically set up this pack which you can buy through me, and you can use a code. I have pinned it to the top like post on my Patreon, but also I'll put it in the link below, and you get a discount on them as well for being a patron. And I use this pack throughout all of the how to draw videos. There's only like a couple of times when I use an ecoline, but otherwise I really try and stick to these so that you don't have to go out there and think, oh my goodness, I have to spend hundreds of pounds on art materials to be able to draw. You really don't. We've got some really nice colours here, and we can create beautiful artwork. So do check it out if you haven't already. So I've got 3 pictures of badges, and I want to start with this one because it's, in my mind, it's easier than the other 2 because it's side on, and I think sometimes side on animals are easier because you've just got to think about one eye, you're thinking about the shape from the side rather than trying to figure out the 3D nose or anything like that. You can use whatever you want. I'm going to be doing the block out method again. This is when I kind of really want a grey, but we have a N60 in this pack, which is like purpley grey. I'll just kind of do a bit up here. So actually it fits perfectly, especially when we layer up. So just shows that you don't have to have every colour to be able to create something. So with this one, obviously it looks like it's got this quite long neck. I want to start with its like that stripe on its head before I kind of think about its body, because I don't want to do its body that then suddenly the head seems to quite difficult to get to. So I'm just looking at that stripe, so a bit different to what we've done before. So it kind of curves up and down, and it grows on that neck, and also there's a bit underneath, but you don't have to add that yet if you don't want to. I'm just trying to get that kind of stripe in there, and then we can think about this body. Oh my goodness, this pen feels so fresh. So kind of coming along the back and down. Also, you've got the grass here, so you don't actually have to worry about feet either if you don't want to. You might be thinking, okay, actually I need to make my body bigger. You know, like me, you might have made it compared to the head a bit smaller, so this is a really easy time to be able to do that. It's a lot harder to do it like making the head a different size. But just remember that stripe you have got a bit above as well, so the head's actually even bigger again than what we're thinking. Because there's quite a lot of pen on there now, I'm just going to let that dry and pop a bit of grass in. So I'll be using my green 126, and if you haven't watched the foliage video, obviously you can just have a go now, but also if you want to learn a bit more about different techniques of foliage, I do have that one on here as well. So I'm just thinking about using the side of my brush, kind of creating a bit of texture. You obviously don't have to make it exact like the picture. I kind of like to put a few bits behind as well, just so it doesn't look too flat. You want it to kind of have that 3D, like looking into the undergrowth feel. And then I'm just going to use the dark green just to kind of pull in some dark bits, but I'm not going overboard with this one. I just like to create a few different kind of grassy textures. Okay, just let that dry a minute. Okay, so this is kind of almost dried. It's actually taken a while because I put through so much down, but we're going to start colouring them in. So I'm going to use Payne's Grey for this because it's nice and dark, and I'm just going to start again where the stripe started, and I'm going to make it kind of quite dark to begin with, lightening up for where I want to put the eye because I don't want the eye to get lost. I'm just adding some nice textures. And we've got the ear that we can then add in. So you're using that stripe to kind of help you work out where that ear is, and then you can see like above where this other white bit is. So I've actually just made my N60 bit a bit thinner, because I think I went too thick. That's okay. So I've just made it thinner by kind of really like making my Payne's Grey less, and then your eye kind of tricks it. We're blending in there, and we can pop that other ear in. Like that. And then the adorable little nose. So the nose is actually quite flat at the front because we're looking side on. And we've got this nice curve of the head. You can add some hair. And this is where it can get really fun because you can like really use your pencil to make some nice hairy textures. You're not trying to make it really smooth, because I actually think badgers look fun when they've got a bit more kind of scruffy character to them. I'm just gonna, I might put the eye in with the pen, so I'll leave that for now, but I'm just kind of keeping an eye on where the grass is, so I'm not just colouring straight over the grass, because then it kind of looks like it blends in a bit more. I'm just going to put a little bit of Okay, so now just to add a bit of kind of more texture on it, on the white, we're going to use a bit of this 992 beige, just a little because it's quite dark, but just so, and I'm going to bring in, make that a bit lower, like that. You can use some 093 as well, just to add a bit of kind of different textures and colours. Add in some of those lighter bit of tones on the badger. And then we can do the same with the grass. So I'm just going to use this green to add texture again. Being really loose as well with this one, just It's just a nice, fun, quick drawing. Don't want to spend too long focusing on foliage. And then we can go in with the monotwin. And this is when we're just adding some details. I'm using the finer one, and I'm just going to pop that little eye in. That's why we kind of made it lighter in that section so you could see. And I'm just going around the outside, adding that final touch. If your monotwin feels like it's running out, it's just because it's got some like pencil kind of stuck on the nib, so just give a little wipe, or on your back page just a little squiggle. It should all clean up. Some texture in the coat. And then we have our first badger. He's very cute. So now we'll move on to another one. So this one is fairly similar, but we've got that slight change of angle. So we're doing side on, slightly angled, and then front on, so we can really get a grasp of how badgers look. So for this one, we're kind of going to do a similar thing. Going to start with that stripe, noticing that it's got like that round bit by the nose. It doesn't just start kind of really solid. And then it's going up and curving right into the ear, so you can kind of hint at the ear with this one, and then we can only just see the other side, so we're just popping like a really thin line down with a bit to the ear, and kind of coming out again because we can see that nose coming out. We're leaving that white bit coming down here, kind of building in its shape. Giving this a nice quick colour in. So this is kind of the tricky bit because you've got to leave some white space in order to get this dark section. So you're just thinking about where it's coming from, so we're kind of coming right from that edge of the dark bit. Always think you can always add, but you can't take it away, so if you go too thin it makes it a lot harder, whereas you can always kind of cut more into it. So just feel your way with your brush pen. Nice long elegant badger, this one. And I'm just going to use the 992 because obviously we've got some kind of brown and green foreground, so we're just going to put that in so it doesn't look like it's just been cut off. I'm literally using like the edge and just really roughly blocking out that shape. I might also kind of put a little bit in here so we can have a bit of diversity. There we go, and it's kind of, you've got that depth then, and we can pop a bit of green for this moss now as well. It's nice to get kind of the brush pen bits down because then it can all dry, and then you can just go in with the pencils. But if you like to kind of, sometimes I really do swap and change, so I'll do a bit of brush pen, add a pencil over here, actually decide I want some more brush pen down here. So yeah, you can do whichever works best for you. But again, I'll just let this dry. Okay, so that's dried, and we're going to do a bit of the same, noticing though that this one is a lot darker here than it is here, so we're going to be mixing 093 and 508, so I'm really going to go in heavy with the Payne's Grey for this section, pressing really hard to get that nice dark tone. Kind of feathering at the edge, so it kind of feathers into its body. Also just adding, looking at where the dark bits are and kind of really focusing on those. Just need to sharpen my pencil. So we can pop some like kind of hints here. So unlike this one where I just went fully in and kind of thinking a lot more about my marks, but I'm really following that direction of its coat. Again, like even though it's really dark on its face, I'm just going to kind of fade into where I'm going to put the eye and then go dark again. Suddenly it's all starting to come to life. If you have more colours, do feel free to experiment with a few different greys. It's got beautiful kind of peppery colours to it, this badger, and it would be lovely to kind of have a go with some different colours, so do give it a go if you've got some. You can kind of use the pencil to help guide its head, and this is where you can kind of change things if you need to. So obviously the ear comes up there, but if you need to make the back higher, you could do that then. Just gonna get this nose. So this nose is a lot rounder than the one above because we've more on an angle. It's a very cute badger, this one. Just hinting at its kind of edge of its head. I think I probably should have actually made its head slightly longer, but that's okay. And it's got a couple of little whiskers, so I'm just going to pop those in really lightly. I don't want to be too kind of obvious with the whiskers because it can suddenly start looking like a mouse. We can use some greens here, just add some texture to the foreground. I'm using a 736 from the Picture and Peck, which is like quite a greeny brown, which means we can just separate the foreground and the background. If you're wanting to kind of carry on drawing after this, I do recommend kind of giving yourself a timed session. So maybe finding some pictures and saying, okay, I'm going to spend 15 minutes on this, because you'll learn a lot faster, and you won't think too much about each kind of step you make. And yes, there'll be some that maybe don't work, but it's all about your intuition, and you'll learn a lot more if you're kind of pressured with time I know that if I have forever to do something, I become very precious about it. Obviously you can draw these sticks and stuff in the background if you want, but I don't want to like use loads of your time drawing in the whole scenery, but do feel free to like give it a go and experiment with how you can put that, like maybe some pine cones. You could even kind of start putting that big tree behind, maybe something more in the foreground that it's looking at, like a little bug or something. But I'm just going to go in with my monotwin again, just to pop the eye in. There we go. So with dark creatures like badgers, I don't use lots of time putting in like the outline, because you kind of already created a lot of it. So I'm just using the pen to put bits of detail in. You've already done most of it with your Payne's grey anyway, but it's quite nice sometimes to add a bit to where, you know, it's gone white or whatever, so you're just popping in some detail there. There's a lot of pencil on there. Monotwin is, there we go, finding it difficult to stay wet. Also it's nice to kind of just pop in some like hairlines with the pen, just finishes it off a bit. Go over the nose if you want to make it a bit blacker. But yeah, we'll move on to the final one now, the front on one. Okay, so this last one, as you can see, is much more front on. I think I am going to give him like a little front paw, just because I know that we've like hidden their feet for this one. So I'll show you what I would do. Yet again, I'm going to start with those two stripes. Hopefully you've got a bit of an idea of their stripes now, but this one obviously you can see it a lot better, how they kind of fan out to being wider at the top, and then they shape round that nose into the ears, so you can kind of hint at the ears. Again, you're gonna have to, I'm gonna put the nose in just with this pen, because we've got to do a bit of guesswork, because we've got some white space here. So you're kind of making up the shape with the pen. So I'm going round its nose. Remembering that you can always make it slimmer, but you can't make it wider. And we can actually see its tail in this one, which is really cute. So just on that top line, and then I'm kind of working my way down, just feeling the shape as I go. I've kind of put more in this section because I know that's going to be darker, and we can, the good thing about this is we can kind of make out the foot with the brush pen, so you're not having to add detail yet. Like that. We can see that it's kind of bringing that back foot forward a bit, so I'm kind of hinting that, and then you can see that the other back foot is kind of coming out the back. So it's kind of this shape. I've just made the feet little blobs at the moment. I know they have nice big claws in real life, but we can add that with detail. Mine's quite a nice big fat badger, but I quite like that. Okay, so remember that they always look a bit weird when you've literally just got one brush pen down, so try not to worry too much about it. While that's drying, I'm just going to put in just a couple of foliagey bits. I'm not going to town like with these ones. If you want to follow like the I keep pointing over here because I feel like you can see it, follow the picture and just like cover its bottom like its legs and things, absolutely do. I'll attach the pictures as well so you can download them, because I know they're really small on the screen, but it just helps you watch what I'm kind of drawing from at the same time. Probably a mistake doing this because I don't know how I'm going to colour around that, but never mind. So just a little bit like that. And then some again in the background, so it's not just a 2D image. And I'm going to start on the face this time, so I'm starting with the nose because it's looking right at us. We can really make a charming face here. I know I've seen lots of you have a go at the how to draw foxes video, so I hope that this one is equally as popular and you guys enjoy drawing badgers. Actually, I might give it a go drawing this one with without the mono twin, so I'm really just using this Payne's grey now to draw the outline, because it shows you don't have to outline everything with pen. Just make sure that you're sharpening for that like outline shape. Nice big round cheeks, this one, and then it really scoops in for that nose, that kind of hamster-like almost. And the nose sits right at the bottom, so it's kind of not really got much white right underneath it, but it has got it on the sides. Really nice and dark again with this section. Doing as I did before over here and just kind of feathering it out. I might again use the this light purple because it just kind of softens the Payne's grey when you add it on top, or underneath actually, either way. And for the feet, I'm just going to create kind of a hint at these nice big claws. If you want to Google some badger claws, but they just kind of they're like bears, and then they've got these big diggers on them. just like before, looking at where it gets darker. This badger actually has quite a bit of kind of brown on it, so I'm just going to add a bit of this 992. I think that adds a bit of a nice texture, and you can go over your pencils with it as well. It actually sits on top of the Caran d'Ache really nicely. Just got those different tones then, which is nice. Making their feet quite nice and black. So they have nice black legs. Then you can kind of come and fade it up into the body. Keeping those nice claw-like padded feet. Just going in there with a few different tones now. I'm just quite liking mixing the colours, but you can do whatever feels right for you in your drawing. I'm just going to kind of put a little bit of detail. I think the only thing I'm going to keep monitoring for is the eyes, just because it's always a lot easier going in with an actual black for the eyes rather than a grey. Just that it won't get lost, but you might have to do it a couple of times, because if you've got a lot of pencil down, it can kind of almost soak in. The eyes are quite low on the stripe, so if you look, there's quite a lot of stripe above the eyes. There's that kind of, I know I've blurred it quite a lot there with the different colours, so if you want to just go back in with the Payne's grey on top, just to add those final details. You could kind of even, like, doesn't all have to be hairs, you could make thicker lines where you decided to put the legs. But I think he's quite cute. And then obviously I know there's green behind, but you could always just add a bit of that 491 if you wanted, just a bit of blue, just to give, kind of make it feel a bit more like a vignette illustration. And obviously you can go over the green, it'll be dry now, so it's not going to blur it. And there we have it, 3 adorable badgers, just like that. I can't wait to see what you guys do. Do let me know if you enjoyed this one, if you use different media or different colours. Let me know. It's always really nice seeing kind of what you decided to use, and as ever, make sure you tag me on what you share on Instagram, because then I can share it on mine. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Thank you for supporting me and my patron. It really does mean a lot. I know there's lots of patrons out there, and I know it's also really nice to like swap and change, so thank you for being here now with me, and I really hope you continue to enjoy these videos. I'll speak to you soon. Bye!